Good morning, YouTube and Wolfpack. I have not recorded anything in a really long time, and there's been a lot of stuff happen. And I figured you all might be wondering what all's occurred since I made my exit from the streaming world in October. So I figured I would just get everybody caught up in one video because there's a lot of stuff that's happened. Well, to start with, last year, what was it, around probably August or September, so it's been about a year now, I abruptly quit streaming. And the story behind that, and some of you know, some of you don't know, is that I used to run a vape shop, and I had an office in the back that I streamed in, and the vape industry took a significant downturn. Mostly, some of it can be related to the legalization of marijuana in the state of Oklahoma. Most of it is related to oversaturation in the market, as well as regulations. That was also about the same time that all that stuff came down the pike about the kids getting sick or whatever from the illegally imported carts from China that were laced with some type of vitamin E, I believe, that was killing people. That may have actually been the first hurrah of COVID, though. I mean, no one really knows. But anyway, all of those factors culminated in me exiting the vape industry. My business partner stayed there. Those of you who know Gerald. And I sold my part of the business to Gerald. And he took that over, and he's still running that. Still trying to get along until the leases go out, or we find out what's going to happen with all the regulations. There's some stuff supposed to be happening in September, but that's that. So I quit streaming in September because I was kind of getting ready for that. There was a lot of stuff happening with it, and so I had to kind of make my exit and go figure that out. But I also stayed part-time in those shops, so I became homeless pretty much at the end of October, and jobless too, I might add. So I had no income and nowhere to live. Not the first time in my life I've been homeless and destitute. Well, I wasn't destitute, but I was homeless anyway. And so I traveled back to staying with my parents. They live in a little small town in the middle of nowhere, about 50 minutes from the closest big city. But unfortunately, their internet out there is horrid. Just to put it in perspective, I went to download a Fallout 4 mod yesterday, or expansion, I can't think it was, maybe Far Harbor. It took 12 hours to download it, so just to put it in perspective. So there is absolutely no way that I can stream. Ironically, though, that was the first place I streamed from. I streamed Stardew Valley, but the internet connection that I have now, and I'll get to what's going on now, is worse than what it was when I started streaming, because I'm now in a separate part of the house because of the whole COVID thing going on. So anyway, so I moved back to my parents, and I had to find some form of income. Well, building up to moving out of the shop or shutting that business down, I started. I had an emergency plan, which was rideshare, so Uber and Lyft and all those. So as soon as I left that, I started driving for Uber and Lyft. Well, the major problem with it is I live in a small town now, right? And so I ended up having to commute to Tulsa to drive. So you figure an hour and a half, 3 hours of driving a day just to get to somewhere to drive. And so that definitely added up gas tank wise. So that went on for a while. In the middle of all of that, I met a girl. Anybody that knows me knows that that's not shocking. I do tend to find unique women to date. This was a very sweet girl, and she was, long story short, we ended up moving in together in December. So I was at my family's house for about 2 months. Well, she lived in Tulsa, right? So I ended up continuing to drive for Uber and Lyft. Well, in the middle of that, I found out that my insurance didn't cover rideshare, right? So the insurance company I was with, basically, if my app was turned on, I was no longer covered by insurance. And like literally my car was the only thing I owned, so I couldn't risk it. So I quit driving rideshare. So that stuck me with, I'm now in Tulsa, but I had no job. And I was living with her, so not technically homeless, so I had a place to stay. But she did not have internet, right? So there was no streaming there. I last year, over the past year and a half, since I started looking for a job, I have applied for, if I would venture a guess, probably 200 positions, maybe, and I've got no interviews. So how that's possible, I have no idea. I mean, a master's degree and 7 years of running my own business and over a decade in a Fortune 150, most of that in human resources. I have no idea, but nobody wanted me. Nobody loved me. So needless to say, I had to find a job, something that I figured I needed to find something that would pay equally as good as rideshare, which rideshare wasn't good. You know, on a good day, because I didn't drive the bar scenes. I didn't mind dropping people off at the bar, but I'd be damned if I was going to pick them up and take them home. A bunch of drunk people in my car. No thanks. But anyway, on a good day, I'd make $100, $150, right? And then you figure out about a tank of gas per day, so about about 120, give or take, on a good day. But so I saw a advertisement to be a car salesman. And I'm like, no, not for me. And I heard that, they would hire me. So I thought about it a little bit, and my girlfriend at the time, who was an incredibly attractive young lady, she convinced me that I should go sell cars because she said, and I quote, anybody that looks like you that can get a girlfriend that looks like me should sell cars. It was a little insulting, but also pretty accurate, so I decided to go sell cars. So I started there at the end of December, right? So then some things in life happened, just generic stuff for me and the girl, and we ended up getting a house in Jinx, which is where the original shop was at, the shop that I stayed in. So I got pulled back to Jinx. We bought a house there and we got moved, right? Well, so we got internet at that house. Now this is about March of this year, right? So now I had internet. Not only did I have internet, I had high-speed internet, right? So all ready to stream, and I streamed for one day. Well, there's a very long story to what happened, and I'm more than happy to share that eventually on the stream. But needless to say, I was unable to stream due to some. I don't even know how to put it. Well, anyway, I couldn't stream. There was some stuff happening in Jinx, right? So I wasn't able to do it. So now I'm selling cars, and life is going pretty good, right? And so around May, I decide that I'm going to get a divorce, because those of you that know me know that I've been separated for like 8 years, and I've been paying for everything for her. And so I've decided that if I'm going to have a life, right, if I'm going to move off into the sunset with my life, I'm going to have to somehow get divorced and keep that money for myself instead of spending, whatever, $250,000 I spent on her. So I filed for divorce. So now I've got a girlfriend, I've got a divorce brewing, and I'm a used car salesman working 60 hours a week plus, right? I mean, and we can do another video on used car sales. That's a whole different beast. It's been fun. I'm doing pretty good at it. That's where I'm headed to now, but yeah, it's kind of a different beast. So anyway, so not able to stream at that house, right? So everything trucks along pretty good until the middle of July, right? And due to events that are kind of related to the reason why I couldn't stream in that particular house, Me and my girlfriend sadly separated. Now, I don't have any animosity against her. She is one of the sweetest people I've ever known. I wish her all the luck in the world, and my phone is always on if she ever wants to call me. So, that's done. So that puts me back in Dewey, well, back in my family's farm, right? Well, because of COVID, which COVID happened in the middle of all this, which is a whole other story, because I actually tested positive for COVID at one point, and made it through swimmingly, I might add, with a few shortness of breaths and bad days. But I made it through. So because of COVID, I was unable to move into the main house at my parents' house. So they have kind of a converted apartment that used to be a business they used to run. And so I'm now living in that part of the house. Well, that part of the house, or that part of the estate, I guess you should say, has horrible internet. I mean, the internet in the house is bad, but the internet out there in the side pocket is just absolutely horrendous. So no, there's no streaming there at all. I am able to download stuff, but it takes a long time. Fortunately, which I killed another PS4. I know that's shocking, right? I don't really know if I killed it or if it was the fact that I lived in a house with 7 cats for almost a year, which a whole other story. Remind me to tell you all sometime about the PTSD I had from living with 7 cats. But anyway, so I killed another PlayStation. Luckily, Mom had one, so I acquired her PlayStation. But luckily, she already had Fallout 4 downloaded, and I'm like, well, let's play this again. So yeah, I decided to start playing it. So I can download expansions and stuff like that. It just takes a long time. Like I said, Far Harbor was like a 12-hour download. But if you don't have anything else to do, there you go. I also play Stellaris, Galaxy Command. It came out on mobile, I don't know, officially released about 3 weeks ago, I think. And it's not bad. I tried Eve. It came out on mobile. But the Stellaris, I mean, it's not as money grabby as some of the other games are. But I do play that. And I've streamed it a little bit because I tried Facebook streaming. And I'll stream it more once I'm able to stream again. I can get a capture card. But anyway, so you go through all of this. And so now here we are. Right, and last week we lost Boozer, and I can't even begin to relate to you what that was like for me. I mean, I've known Boozer 20 years. I mean, he is the guy that I video gamed with. I mean, there was a point there where we were online together from the time we woke up to the time we went to bed for years. He was off for health reasons, and I was living, in the back of the shop where I worked at. And so, I mean, that's what we did. We just played all day long. And so losing Boozer was quite a shock, especially to something like COVID, right? I mean, all the crap that man's been through, and freaking COVID got him. I don't know how that happens. I still can't wrap my mind around that, how something as crazy as COVID could take Boozer out. But so he's gone. And so that leaves me I still play with Zero. Zero's out there, Gerald's out there, but I've never been one to play much with people, right? So Boozer was the one that I got on with, and then everybody kind of migrated because me and Boozer were together. So, and those of you that watch my streams know I don't normally get on voice with people, so it's a thing. It's just a thing, So I don't know how that's going to materialize when I start streaming again, but. So an update on that, though, is I've been talking to Boozer's family, and I'm going to try to get Stonehaven off his PS4. If I can't, then we're going to rebuild the damn thing. If I can, then we're going to finish building what he wanted and finish what I want. We'll just keep building. But I'm going to see if I can't migrate that to a static server. But we'll talk about all that once I get to where I can stream again. Okay, so there's more stuff But that's pretty much the long and the short of it for now. I will tell you my future plans. So I am still working on getting the divorce. I've got a really good lawyer at $300 an hour, and we're still pecking away at it. And I'm hoping it'd be resolved early next year. Well, hope part will be resolved this year, and the rest of it hopefully will be resolved after the first of the year. And now I don't know exactly what my plan is after that. I've got a couple options. So at that point, I'll have a house, right? The house I've been paying on for a decade that I've only been in twice. And I don't know how much work needs to be done to that house. I don't know. It may be condemnable, so I don't know. But it's a complete moot point if it can't get high-speed internet. Because if it can't get Gigablast or better, I'm not doing it because I'm going to stream again, right? So I'll find out about that. But if not, I'm probably going to move closer to wherever I work at, which I'm hoping to get back into human resources still. But don't know. Don't know if that's happening. Don't know. It's very sad. But anyway, if not, I'll keep selling cars. And I'll move closer to the car lot. Simply because driving an hour and a half, I'm driving 1,000 miles a week because I work 6 days a week. Yeah, it's not good. It's bad. So I'll move closer. I'll get an apartment. Whatever I get will have high-speed internet, right? And then I will get everything set up, and we will pick up where we left off. But that is a very long story, but I figured you all wanted to hear it. Now, if there's anything you want to know in detail, if it doesn't involve too many other people, if it does, I can talk to you on Discord. But if anything else you want to know, let me know, and I'll make another video. Let me know if you liked this video, if you like the vlog stuff, and I'll make more of them. Yeah, we'll get back into streaming here soon. But I appreciate it, Wolfpack. You're always on my mind. I'm always trying to get back to streaming. It's just been a struggle, but we're going to get there, and we're going to stream the snot out of it, all right? All right, guys. Well, you all have a blessed day, and as I said, you let me know if you like the vlogs and if you want more and what you want to hear about. But anyway, hope you all have a good day. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.